$10. No, yeah, you know Alec, my friend Alec. He
Today's meet featured Bridgewater State University, Norton College, and Norton College Science. Bridgewater State University head coach is assisted by Nicole Monahan, Katie Rozier, Joe Yeskowitz, Jay Schotter, and diving coach Jennifer Jackson. Norton College is coached by Bryce Pope. He is assisted by Doug Bode. Your Wheaton College Lions are coached by Barrett Roberts and assisted by Eric Schultz and diving coach Danielle Moore. Good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, homophobic remarks, or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Also, consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages is prohibited. Prior to the national anthem, on behalf of Wheaton College Swimming and Diving, Senior Brooke Lucci would like to share a statement. As we are dedicating this meet to Morgan's Message, a nonprofit in support of mental health awareness among today's student athletes.
The Wheaton Swim and Dive team is dedicating today's meet to the life and legacy of Morgan Rogers, a former Duke University lacrosse student athlete who died tragically in July 2019 after battling mental health struggles. Although Morgan's life is cut way too short, her legacy of unconditional love remains. Morgan's message was created by her family and former teammates with the mission to eliminate the stigma surrounding mental health, normalize the conversation about mental health, and to ensure that mental health is treated equally to physical health for all student athletes. For more information on Morgan's life and legacy and how you can help those with mental health struggles, please visit morgansmessage.org. Ladies and gentlemen, remove your hats for a moment of silence in remembrance of Morgan Rogers.
inside Balfour Natatorium on this Saturday afternoon. It's a tri-meet here for the Wheaton College men's and women's swim and dive team. They host Gordon and Bridgewater. And I got my guy back with me, back like he never left, Austin Halstead. Austin, let's get after it this afternoon.
How you doing, Jackson? I'm glad to be back. I'm glad for Alan Wickstrom for giving me this opportunity to be back here at my home pool. I'm excited to see what Wheaton can do today. The recruits looking really good from last year, so let's see what they can do.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back after it, too. So excited last week for the win at against Roger Williams at home that I actually am losing my voice a little bit, still yelling on the mic at the end of the men's 200-yard freestyle relay win, so bear with me this afternoon, but a lot of action going on today. As I said, it's a tri-meet, 32 events. We got diving going on as well. Looks like it's just going to be the Wheaton competitors competing on the diving side. Really excited to get after. We'll kick it off, 32 events, as I said. I'll lead it off with the women's 200-yard medley relay. Quick look at the teams before we get underway. In lane 1, it's Wheaton. Lane 2, Bridgewater State. Lane 3, Gordon. Lane 4, Wheaton. Lane 5, Bridgewater State. Lane 6, Wheaton. And lane 7, also Wheaton. Swimmers getting their last preparations underway before they get ready to take their marks. Following this, it'll be the men's 200-yard medley relay. Wheaton women have been dominant so far this season. They come in at 3-0 with dominant victories over Bentley, Roger Williams, and most recently last Saturday at Wellesley College. Not as much success for Bridgewater and Gordon so far this season. They each have a win under their belt. Last weekend, Bridgewater State women lost to Clark, while the Gordon women defeated Elms for their first win of the season. Swimmers enter the pool. And we're off this afternoon. It's Wheaton hosting Gordon and Bridgewater State tri-meet Saturday afternoon.
Really nice underwaters by Taylor Kudo there. Gives her the nice little tiny bit of a lead coming into the wall.
That's Kudo in lane 1 for the Lions kicking off. Lions also going good so far in the backstroke in lane 4. That's Leah Schulte battling Kudo for that lead. And in lane 6 for Wheaton, Bridget Cleveland, the first year. Cleveland's going to get to the wall first and lane 6, turning it over to Emma Lambert-Shemo.
Clucci's pace, definitely something to watch out for today.
That's Clucci in lane 4 right now for Wheaton, giving her team the lead. This has a Wheaton sweep written all over it, as do most of the races that the women swim in. So it's going to be Clucci to the wall first in lane 4, turning it over to Alexa DiCenzo. Out in second place, lane 6, swimming the third leg, Anna Curry. And it looks like third place belongs to lane 1 right now. That's Allie McHenrick in the third leg in lane 1 for her team. But right now, still powering through in first place, it's Alexa DiCenzo. She will turn it over to Garen Stone.
Got a little battle hanging out in lane 7 here. Let's see what happens.
Right now, Stone in lane 4 and the anchor here for the freestyle. She has about a half-length lead over her teammate in lane 6, Kat Foster. Stone hanging on to that lead over Foster. Foster trying to close it. So it's going to be lane 4 with a win, lane 6 second place. It's going to be close. Lane 1 with a chance to earn a Wheaton sweep, and they're going to get to the wall first. The closer, Laura Molesworth, completes the sweep. Lanes 4, 6, and 1 for Wheaton, kicking off the day with another dominant performance in the women's 200-yard medley relay. Winning time in lane 4, 1:54.55, with Garen Stone, the first year out of Barrington, Rhode Island, swimming the anchor leg. Now turn it over to the men, see if they have the same success the women just did. Going to be 2 heats for the men's 200-yard medley relay. In Heat 1, Lane 2, Bridgewater State. Lane 3, Wheaton. Lane 4, Bridgewater State. And Lane 5, Wheaton. A lot of talent on the men's side, trying to battle back from a tough season last year, and they have so far. Only lost by 9 points to Roger Williams, and in the previous year, they lost at Roger Williams meet by 118 points, so it really shows how well Barrett Roberts got this team back in the right direction, to say the least, and a testament to how well he can recruit.
Yeah, in my recent memory, I really don't remember coming that close to beating Roger Williams. I would have to say at least 8 years it's been since we've come that close. So it's awesome.
Really impressive to close that from a 118-point loss to a 9-point loss in just a year of time. Hopefully that's a sign for the years to come and maybe the rest of the season to come. Another step of the journey today against Gordon and Bridgewater. Men will take their marks, getting ready to go in Heat 1 of 2 of the 200-yard medley relay. Leading off for Wheaton in lane 3 and 5, it's Evan Domingos. And in lane 5, Caden Gilbert. Early lead, first 25 for Domingos.
Evan's looking really strong underwater.
Battle for second place between Gilbert in lane 5 and Bridgewater State's Scully's in lane 2. Second leg now, first into the pool, Eric Booth for Wheaton. Not far behind him, his teammate in lane 5, swimming the second leg, Liam Hill. Hill's a first year out of Vestal, New York. Part of a very talented first year class that we were just talking about. Huge lead for Wheaton now in lane 3. Coming on for the third leg in lane 3 here, it's Colton Lebrecht. And in second place in lane 5 for Wheaton, swimming the third leg, Anthony Meglin. Good pace from Lebrecht in lane 3. Out to a huge lead. And into the pool now in lane 3, it's the anchor, Brody Wilson. Wilson, another first year. He's out of Conway, Arkansas.
Wow, he is flying.
Yeah, Wilson absolutely cooking here in the anchor. And Wilson and Wheaton will run away with a win in the men's 200-yard medley relay. And they'll also take second place in lane 5, the anchor, Luis Bonetti.
142.3. That is a solid dual meet time.
And as Austin just said, 142.38, the winning time in lane 3 for Wheaton in a battle for third and fourth. It will go to Bridgewater State in lane 4 with third place. Bears also take fourth place in lane 2. So Heat 1 dominated by Wheaton in lanes 3 and 5. They take first and second. Going to bring us on to Heat 2, same event. A look at the field in lane 2, it's Bridgewater State. Lane 3, Gordon. Lane 4, Wheaton. Lane 5, Bridgewater State. And lane 6, Wheaton as well.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the scoring heat, this event.
Look for Wheaton in lane 4 to maybe come away with a victory here. They'll be led off by Anton Lopez. And in lane 6, kicking things off for the Lions, it's Andrew Tran.
Lopez's tempo coming into the wall, looking really strong.
Right now, it's Lopez in lane 4, Tran in lane 6, neck and neck as we're on to the second leg into the pool for Wheaton. Lane 4, Ben Goho. Lane 6 for the Lions, Noah Kaplan.
Goho cutting it really close on that exchange on the relay start there. Don't think he DQ'd, but it's very close.
Goho with about a 2-length lead now in lane 4. He'll give it off to the very talented first-year Gavin Cullinan, who's seen success in each of the first 2 meets, and is one of those swimmers that we referred to that can help Wheaton on the men's side be on the come up. He's out of Cumming, Georgia.
Goho with the 26.4 50 breast, absolutely cooking.
Cullinan to the wall first in the third leg, now onto the anchor in lane 4. It's the sophomore Sean Hill. Trailing him in lane 6, swimming the anchor, it's his teammate, William Garneau. Bridgewater, State, and Gordon behind the rest of the pack.
Will's closing the distance a little bit. There we go.
Back-to-back heats, it's Wheaton first and second.
136.9 for Wheaton.
That second place relay team in lane 6, just under 4 seconds behind the winning team in lane 4. That was anchored by Sean Hill. So both on the men's and women's side early on, it's been all Wheaton. That wraps up both the women's and men's 200-yard medley relay. That'll bring us to our longest event of the day on both sides. It's going to be the women's 1,000 to start. Quick look at the field. Gabrielle Finiti in lane 1 for Wheaton. Lane 2, Bridgewater State Samantha White. Lane 3 for Gordon, Catherine Maloney. Lane 4, Wheaton, Allie Taylor. Lane 5, Bridgewater State, Bryn Murray. Lane 6 for Gordon, Grace Haxanasto. And rounding out the pack in lane 7 for the Lions, it's Jordan Jensen.
The first 50 of a 1,000-yard freestyle must be very, very intimidating. I can only imagine what they must be thinking right now in terms of how long they have to go, keep the pace. It's all things that they have to be thinking about, but also shutting their brain off as well because it's such a long, grueling event.
Yeah, from someone that doesn't have a swimming background, I can't even think about doing this. I have trouble in the pool going back and forth once, so for them to do it this many times, it's a testament to how athletic and how well endurance they are. Right now, holding on to a steady early lead in lane 4 for Wheaton, it's Allie Taylor. She's a sophomore out of North Carolina. Second place belongs to Gordon in lane 3 and Catherine Maloney. Wheaton also sitting in third place out in lane 7. It's Jordan Jensen. Taylor still pushing strong in lane 4. Looks like she might be lengthening her lead now just a bit. Same positions hold in second and third with Maloney of Gordon in lane 3 and second. Third place Jensen out in lane 7 for Wheaton. Right now swimming well in lane 1, it's Ella Finiti. Wheaton first year.
I believe she is hanging out a little bit in front of Taylor right now.
Yeah, Finiti, you lose lane 1 just like that easily. You get blocked by the Wheaton swimmers standing on a line in front of the pool. So it looks like it is the talented first year Finiti that's actually just in first place in front of Taylor. Finiti part of the first-year recruiting class that features swimmers out of Minnesota. Two more of her teammates that are also out of Minnesota are Talia Dalton and Vivian Van Hollen. Barrett Roberts was all over the place in the offseason recruiting.
Seriously. Historically, you generally see New England as the most recruited school for athletics here at Wheaton. But more and more, I believe that the word's getting out, lack of a better term.
Yeah, that's on both the women's and men's side. You know, two names that we saw with success so far this season, and even today, Brody Wilson, he's out of Arkansas on the men's side, and along with Cullinan out of Cumming, Georgia. So a lot of talent from a lot of places here for the women's and men's side, the 2022-2023 swim and dive team.
Finite really taking the lead now off these walls. Taylor just a tiny little bit conservative on her underwaters, I think. Finite just really pushing it. Pace just a little bit faster than Allie Taylor right now. But Allie has her legs going a little bit more, so it's very interesting to see that.
Finite still holding that good place in lane one. She's been one of the major point contributors through the first three meets for Wheaton this season.
I believe they're just coming up to the halfway point. Finite might be a little bit farther than that.
And I want to go back. I misspoke earlier, just glanced at my roster the wrong way, and my head didn't catch on to it. Finite's out of Colorado, so it's just Van Hollen and Dalton that are the two women's swimmers out of Minnesota.
Gotcha.
But to say the least, still not anywhere closer than we are at Norton right now. So
yeah,
really widespread roster, especially on the women's side. Finite still kicking as she's out to about a half pool length lead in lane one over Taylor. Just over 6.5 in here, the women's 1,000. Diving also getting underway off to our right. We have a separate stream up for that. You can find that on your Newmax Sports Network homepage. It should be right alongside the video link here for the swim meet. And props to our producer, Alan Wickstrom, for setting up that separate link. He's manning the iPad just off to our right so you can see the diving and swimming going on at the same time, since squeezing in a bit here as it's a tri meet, not like it was last week where took a bit of a break to do diving and then went back to the pool right after. Wicks on his stuff this afternoon. Being able to have everyone at home view both. But right now in the pool, it's El Finite. Should be getting results up on Meet Mobile sometime soon, and you can follow that throughout the whole day if you're at home and happen to have the Meet Mobile app. We'll also go over scores when we get them sent to us up here.
Nothing yet. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't.
Meet Mobile happens to not be up and running as well. We'll have the scores run up to us by staff here working the meet, so we're always going to be relaying those over the air once we get hold of them.
Finite holding back her pace just a tiny, tiny little bit. Believe she knows where she is in this race right now.
Big lead for Finite as we hit the 9-minute mark into the women's 1,000. She's going to be a very special talent here in Norton for the next 4 years.
Someone's got to fill Lydia DeCourty's shoes.
Yeah, I was talking about that last week on the broadcast with Wick during the Roger Williams meet, just how impressive it is that you lose arguably the best women's swimmer in the history of Wheaton College swimming. Then her event was the 1,000, if I'm right. Correct, Austin?
Yeah, she did everything really, but yeah, distance, mainly distance. Yeah, that's what she would be put in.
Yeah, so to have her graduate and then the very next fall have a first year come on and win that event is just a sign of how strong this women's program is.
Yeah, I mean, to have swimmers like Lydia, recent memory, Jenna Hayden, NCAA qualifiers, it just brings a lot of recruits to the team. It brings a lot of attention to the team, a lot of positive reassurance that hopefully someone will be able to fill the shoes.
Buzzer sounds and we're on to the last lap here of the women's 1,000. Finite's still kicking in lane one. You can barely even see her on the camera because of all those Wheaton swimmers standing right along the pool, but she's just in view right now on the camera as she comes off to our right, and she's on to her last 25 in what's going to be a dominant win in the women's 1,000. So Finite finishes up, and she'll wait for the rest of the pack to finish up.
Taylor getting the red sign. It's her last 25.
Swimmers coming to the wall here, but they're still swimming in lanes 3 and 5, and Taylor will take second place in lane 4 for the Lions. So it's Wheaton first and second. We'll wait to see who finishes in third. Absolutely grueling race. The winning time for Finite comes in at 11:14:38.
It's a pretty solid 1,000 time, if I remember correctly.
Into the wall third. It's going to go to Gordon in lane 3 with Catherine Maloney. Fourth place goes to Jordan Jensen of Wheaton. Out in lane 7, so not a Wheaton sweep, but still going to tally a good amount of points, taking first and second with Finite and Taylor. Rest of the pack still finishing up between Gordon and Bridgewater. Second place time for Taylor, about 30 seconds behind Finite at 11:46.88. We have updated scores from before this event. Austin, I'll let you relay those over the air.
Alrighty, for the women's side, Wheaton College 15, if I'm reading this correctly, and Bridgewater State 2. So I believe that they're going to take this tri-meet and score it Wheaton Bridgewater, Wheaton versus Gordon, and then vice versa, Gordon versus Bridgewater.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so Wheaton Bridgewater 15-2, Wheaton 15, Gordon 2, Bridgewater State 15, Gordon 2. And on the men's side, Wheaton College 15, Bridgewater State 2, Wheaton College 15, Gordon 2, Bridgewater State 15, Gordon 2.
Yep, so both on the men's and women's side, Wheaton out to 15-2 leads, and those were scores going in to the women's 1,000. But right now we're underway in the men's 1,000. A look at the field for Bridgewater. It's TJ Scalisi in lane 1. Lane 2, his teammate Cooper Castellone. Lane 3 for Gordon, John Sullivan. Lane 4 for Wheaton, William Chappell. Lane 5 for Bridgewater, Cam Stringfellow. Lane 6, Wheaton, Alexander I'm struggling on his last name right now. Minicello. I'll get that pronunciation check in a second. And then in lane 7 for Bridgewater State, Owen Lasbury Casey.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe both these lines in the water right now are freshmen.
That's Alexander Minicello. Excuse me, just ran over my words a little bit. I had it down last week. I was working on it before the whole meet and then just didn't practice enough going into today. But Alex Minicello swimming for the Lions right now. He's in lane 6.
Minicello barely kicking right now. It is one of the strategies you can do during 1,000. There is a 2-beat kick, and then there's barely just kicking. It just conserves energy throughout the whole race. I've never really done this race, so can't really tell you too much about it, but that's what I'm observing right now.
Wheaton looking to widen that point gap over Bridgewater and Gordon. Lions are dominating right now in lanes 4 and 6 with Will Chappell and Minicello. Minicello, a first year out of Swansea, New Hampshire.
Chappell already going to that one stroke, one breath technique as well. Every single stroke, just get that oxygen, get that blood flowing. It's really important in a distance race, especially if you're going to try to pick it up a little bit, give it a little more energy.
Chappell's a rookie out of Worcester, Mass. So the two Wheaton men leading the pack right now are New England boys. And a quick note on the women's 1,000. It turned out El Finiti was swimming exhibition in that race. So she did have the fastest time, but credit the win to Allie Taylor. So then that moves Maloney of Gordon into second place, and then Wheaton also takes third with Jordan Jensen moving into third place. So Wheaton still grabbing 2 of the top 3 with Taylor in first and Jensen in third.
Yeah, they'll definitely be scoring after that, second and third versus first. That's what you want.
Neck and neck right now. Chapel and Minichiello in lanes 4 and 6 for Wheaton. We have scores in after the women's 1,000 updated. Wheaton over Bridgewater State 28-2. Wheaton over Gordon. Excuse me, that's 28-7 over Bridgewater State. Wheaton over Gordon 27-8, and then Bridgewater over Gordon 21-14. Special thanks to Alan Wickstrom getting those scores updated for us up here. All of this wouldn't be possible without him. Last year, Wick was also the leading contributor to the first ever live broadcast for Wheaton College men's or women's swim and dive, and Austin and I had the honor of calling that, so that is always going to hold a really special place in my broadcasting career.
Definitely. It was really exciting to be a part of that. I'm very thankful, again, like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, for Alan getting me that opportunity last year and this year again. Really appreciate it.
I believe that was a home meet in late October against Coast Guard. That place was packed, and it's packed again today for a Saturday afternoon meet. It was last Friday as well for the home opener against Roger Williams. Always a lot of turnout for swim and dive meets here at Wheaton.
Yeah, just looking back on last year as well, remembering that little clip from Daniel Rock's comeback 200 free relay anchor. I remember that was circulating for a while after that, and everyone loved that. And I think that was a good little bump to Wheaton Swim and Dive for sure.
Yeah, arguably the most exciting and special moment of all of Wheaton athletics last year. Just the raw emotion from both the men's and women's team when Rock made that comeback. And in similar fashion last week in the men's 200 relay to end it, it was Brian Hickson the first year filling the shoes of Rock and completing the comeback win, and I believe it was in the same lane as well, in lane 4 for Wheaton. So shades of what's to come here in Norton for swim and dive.
It all comes full circle like that. You love to see it too.
That even goes along the same lines of the full circle effect as we were talking with Dalton and Finiti filling the shoes of DeCorday.
Yes, definitely. I would also agree.
Approaching 8 minutes into the men's 1,000. Wheaton in first and second. Minichiello with the lead in lane 6 for the Lions. Behind him his teammate in lane 4. It's Will Chappell.
Chappell really slowing down the pace. I think he really knows where he is right now in this race. Finiti just really powering through it at this point. You can really tell. The stroke has changed. He's more bouncy. But it works.
Minichiello with another touch in lane 6 on the wall off to our right. He's just widening his lead in first place now for the Wheaton men. Chapel still trailing behind him in lane 4. It's like the battle for third place is being led in lane 2 by Bridgewater's Cooper Castellone. Over 9 minutes in now. Minichiello still with a good pace out in lane 6. Chapel still sitting comfortably ahead of the rest of the pack in lane 4.
Minichiello really picking it up in the mid-pool and then slows really down in his turns. It's interesting. Haven't really seen something like that in a while.
Minichiello starting to lap his opponents now in lane 6 with a huge lead.
Yeah, it looks like he's swimming a 500 right now. I think he really wants to pass this guy. And he does on the turn.
Minichiello now lapping the rest of the field in lane 6. As the buzzer sounds and he's on his last 50 for the men's 1,000.
He is hauling right now. It takes a lot to give it this much at the end of 1,000. You only see this really in championship meets or close races. But he's really giving it all right now.
There's Minichiello at the top of your screen. He'll touch the wall first for a Wheaton win in the men's 1,000 in under 11 minutes at 10:56.5.
It's pretty good. That is pretty good for a dual meet. That's hauling.
And coming to the wall, his fellow first-year Will Chapel finishes second place in lane 4 at 11:10.61.
Really impressive thousands for the guys.
A race for third between Bridgewater and Gordon now for the rest of the pack, and it's going to go to Gordon in lane 3 taking third place. That's John Sullivan.
Yeah, it's great to see these distance events getting filled more and more by freshmen. I just remember Sean Hill being the only one last year, and Will Garneau, obviously he's a senior this year, but he's been a distance swimmer for the guys. But other than that, it's great to see freshmen coming in and dominating.
So it's Wheaton first and second, Minichiello and Chapel leading the way. Gordon takes third with John Sullivan in lane 3. Fourth place goes to Bridgewater State. In lane 2, Cooper Castellone. Rest of the pack finishes up. So that brings us to the end of the women's and men's 1,000-yard freestyle, or two longest events you'll see all day. You'll see another long one when we come up to the women's and men's 500. That'll be events 23 and 24. That now brings us to event 5 of the day, the women's 200. Looking at the pack, Anna Curry, lane 1 for Wheaton and lane 2 for Bridgewater. Cameron Beals, lane 3 for Gordon, Catherine Maloney. Lane 4, Bridgewater, Vivian Van Hollen. Lane 5 for the Bridgewater State Bears, it's Brianna Maddie. Lane 6 for Wheaton, the talented first-year Tally Dalton. Lane 7, Bridgewater, Evelyn Olson. And lane 8 for Wheaton, Allie McHenrick. Brianna Maddie in lane 5 for Bridgewater State. Calls Cumberland, Rhode Island home just like I do, and want to give a special shout out to Josh Souza who informed me that he's tuned into the live stream right now, a fellow 2021 Cumberland High School grad along with myself.
For giving hometown shout-outs, Gordon is in my hometown, but obviously not shouting out them in terms of winning today.
Austin looking for a hometown loss today, if you want to put that into action. So look out for Van Hollen in lane 4 and Maddie in lane 5 for Bridgewater. Dalton's also going to be in the mix for Wheaton, the talented first year, in lane 6. Well, they're off in the women's 200.
Got a little outside smoke going in lane 1 here.
Lane 1, that's Anna Curry. Curry, the junior out of New Bedford for Wheaton. So it's really, really close right now between lanes 1, then 3 through 6.
McHenrick up in lane 8 as well, holding a really nice pace with all the Lady Lions.
Right now for Wheaton in the lead, Vivian Van Hollen, the rookie in lane 4. Staying right with Van Hollen, just 2 spots over to her right in lane 6, it's Dalton. Van Hollen still holding that place in lane 4 for Wheaton. Dalton's right there with her. Come to the wall here in front of us. And it looks like about a quarter to a half length that Dalton is trailing Van Hollen. Coming down the stretch though, Dalton in lane 6 making a bit of a push.
Yeah, she's really upping her tempo. I think she sees her teammate right there, so she wants to get in front.
So now as they came down to the stretch off to our left, as they wrapped up another 50, it's
McHenrick's still holding on too.
Yeah, it's going to be now Dalton in lane 6 with a bit of a lead over Van Hollen. McHenrick right there, 3rd place, lane 8. To the wall first and taking the win. It's 2 first years out of the state of Minnesota going 1st and 2nd for Wheaton. Dalton in lane 6 with a win, Van Hollen right behind her, 2nd place, lane 4, and a Wheaton sweep. As getting it done in lane 8, Allie McHenrick takes 3rd. Fourth place goes to Wheaton as well, Curry in lane 1. Gordon grabs 5th place with Maloney in lane 3. Bridgewater gets 6th with Brianna Maddie in lane 5. Updated scores on the men's side now. Coming in after the 1,000, and it's all Wheaton. Wheaton leads Bridgewater 28-8, along with Gordon by the same score of 28 to 8, yes. And then Bridgewater leading Gordon 24-14. Now that turns us over to the men's 200-yard freestyle. There's going to be 2 heats of this. In the first heat, they just get underway in lane 3 for Bridgewater, Cam Stringfellow. Lane 4 for Wheaton, Caden Gilbert. Lane 5, Bridgewater, Alexander Arpin. And lane 6 for Wheaton, Noah Kaplan.
I haven't really seen Gilbert in the 200 yet, if I remember correctly. He does mainly 1,500 every meet, so it's fun to see him in a faster event. You can really see his distance stroke, though. It's
Gilbert's a sophomore out of Cape Elizabeth, Maine. And right now it's Gilbert in the lead. Contested race right behind him for second place. It's currently held on to by Arpin in lane 5 for the Bears, and right behind Arpin in lane 6 for Wheaton, Noah Kaplan.
Arpin's trying to get over on the lane and try to get a little draft off Caden. Not really working, though. Caden's pulling away. He needs to get off the lane line, though. Now I think Arpin gave up on Caden and sees Noah. Noah's trying to do the same thing.
Making another turn off to our left. Still in the lead, Caden Gilbert in lane 4. Now by almost a full length in second place, his teammate Kaplan in lane 6.
Kaplan needs to have a really nice turn here to secure this victory. His pace is definitely a little bit slower.
To the line first in lane 4. Caden Gilbert takes the win in Heat 1 of the men's 200. Second place, Noah Kaplan, lane 6. Third place goes to Bridgewater's Alexander Arpin in lane 5, and rounding out the pack in fourth, Bridgewater's Cam Stringfellow.
Second heat in the men's 200.
Yep, second heat, Heat 2 of 2 for the men's 200. A look at the pack in lane 2, 5, and 7. It's Wheaton with Carberry, Cullinan, and Garno. Lanes 3 and 6 for Bridgewater, Connor Young, Eric Silva. And in lane 4 for Gordon, Major Adair. Adair, a first-year student for Gordon out of Danvers. Just one of 5 swimmers on the Gordon's men's roster. All swimmers out of Massachusetts, and then Brendan Teeter, the lone swimmer not from Mass. He's out of Barrington, New Hampshire. But right now in Heat 2 of 2 of the men's 200, with a comfortable lead in lane 5 for the Lions, it's the first-year Cullinan. Trailing in second place in lane 7, Garno right there. And trying to make this a sweep for the Lions, it's lane 2, Aiden Carberry. Carberry, a junior out of Narragansett, Rhode Island.
Colony has one of the smoothest freestyles I've seen in a very long time. It's a really, really nice steady kick he's got. Just really powering him through his mid-pools. When he comes to his walls, super long underwater. He looks really good. He's like not moving around in the water either, like side to side on the lanes. He's like straight as an arrow. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Cullinan absolutely flying right now, coming down the stretch. Heat 2 of the men's 200, and he's going to come away with an easy win, a time of 1:47.54. His teammate in lane 7, Will Garno, comes in second, and completing the sweep for Wheaton in lane 2, Aiden Carberry.
Yeah, he made that 1:47.5 look like nothing. Like, that was insane.
Updated scores on the women's side after the 200 freestyle. It's Wheaton leading Bridgewater 44-10, also leading Gordon 44-10, and it's Bridgewater over Gordon 30-23.
Women's 100 back.
Event 7, the women's 100 back, as Austin just said. Believe we're going to have 2 heats of this. Yes, we will. In Heat 1, a look at the field in lanes 3 and 5 for Bridgewater. Savannah Levine and Olivia Pascalaro in lanes 4 and 6 for the Lions, Isabella Chesley, and Maddie King.
I just noticed, actually, well, I knew this already, but Wheaton just got new blocks and new backstroke start, little, whatever you call those, pads. Makes the backstroke start a lot easier. It plants the feet, so you bring that red piece down and put your feet on that, and it gives you a nice little launch off the wall for your start. So that's a big game changer for home meets here. For sure. You want to have blocks like that everywhere, but obviously colleges don't.
Really pouring it on in the lead right now. Isabella Chesley in lane 4 for Wheaton. She's a rookie out of New York City, attended the New York City Lab High School for Collaborative Studies along with junior swimmer Amelia Butler. And there's Chesley with a win in heat 1 of 2 for the women's 100 back. Her teammate finishing in second place, Maddie King in lane 6. Third place, Bridgewater State's Pascalaro. Now we have updated scores on the men's side. And Wheaton continuing their dominance. They lead Bridgewater 41-13 after the men's 200. Also leading Gordon 41-5. Bridgewater now leading Gordon 37-14 on the men's side.
It'll really just be a numbers game between Gordon and Bridgewater on the men's side, at least. Meaning numbers, meaning how many, men they have on their roster versus Bridgewater. It just depends on that. Unfortunately, that's how swimming is scored.
So Wheaton first and second with Chesley and King. And heat 1 of 2 for the women's 100 back. Now that brings us to heat 2 of 2. Believe this is the scoring heat.
Yes.
Yeah, it will be. Wheaton's represented in lanes 1, 4, and 7. Taylor Kutu, Bridget Cleveland, and Leah Schulte. In lanes 2 and 5 for Bridgewater, Mia Frazier, Olivia Rank. And in lanes 3 and 6, it's Gordon's Mia Frazier and Liliana DeFio. Watch out for Cleveland for the Lions. She's in lane 4. A part of a very talented first-year class is Bridget Cleveland. She's out of Point Pleasant, New Jersey.
Yeah, Cleveland really pushing those underwaters. That makes a difference in backstroke for sure. Because you're not flipping over onto your stomach again after your turn. So if you can nail those underwaters.
Cleveland with about a 2-length lead now over the rest of the pack. She's in lane 4, sitting in second place. Out in lane 7, her teammate Leah Schulte.
Yeah, Schulte really picking up the pace here.
So Cleveland absolutely flying in lane 4 for the win. She clocks in at 101.64, second place in lane 7, Leah Schulte of the Lions. Third place goes to Bridgewater State in lane 5, Olivia Rank. Fourth place was grabbed by Wheaton in lane 1, Taylor Kutu. Wheaton continues their dominance in both heats of the women's 100 back. Now that'll take us to the men's 100-yard back. It'll feature 2 heats as well. In the first heat in lane 3 for Bridgewater, Brendan Goff. For Wheaton, lane 4, Will Larson. Bridgewater featured in lane 5 by Cameron Sprink. And for Wheaton in lane 6, Brody Wilson. They're underway in heat 1 of 2 for the men's 100 back. 2 Wheaton swimmers featured in this. Brody Wilson out of Conway, Arkansas, along with his teammate, Will Larson.
Wow. He almost went all the way to the red there. He was underwater. He's really cranking his arm speed. That's kind of crazy.
Larson's flying right now in lane 4. He's out of Iowa City, Iowa. In lane 6, his fellow rookie Brody Wilson sits in second. Down to the stretch here and running away with it. Will Larson in lane 4 comes away with the win in heat 1 for the men's 100 back with a time of 57.01. Second place, lane 6, Brody Wilson at 58.93. Wheaton first and second once again. They'll see if they can do the same in heat 2 of the men's 100 back. A loaded field for Wheaton here. Lanes 2, 5, and 7. For the Lions, it's Brian Hickson, Anson Lopez, and Andrew Tran. Lanes 3 and 6 for Bridgewater, Joseph Purvier, Brady Callahan. And in lane 4 for Gordon, Brendan Teeter.
I would look out for Lopez in this one.
Lopez maybe the favorite. He's out of lane 5. Into the pool, heat 2 of 2 of the men's 100 back. Through the first 25, just barely holding on to the early lead, it's Andrew Tran. Tran, a first year out of Milton, Mass.
Tran has had some really impressive 100 breaststrokes as well in the past couple meets I've been watching. Very, very impressive dual meet times, like stuff that I was only hitting my senior year. So very excited to see what he can do this season.
Really tight now, lane 7 and 5 between Tran and Lopez.
Lopez looking at Tran underwater.
Lopez looks like he may be pulling away with it, but it's going to be Wheaton first, second, and third, no matter the result. And to the wall first in a time of 54.51. Anson Lopez takes the win. Second place, lane 7, Andrew Tran. And completing the Wheaton sweep in lane 2, Brian Hickson.
Yeah, those are really solid 100 back times. 54.5 and 55.1.
Wheaton just keeps running the score up on Bridgewater and Gordon here. Both dominating the 100 back on the men's and women's side. Now that brings us to heat 1 of 2 for the women's 100-yard breaststroke. Wheaton in lanes 4 and 6, Ann Sweeney, Kat Foster. Lane 5 for Bridgewater, it's Bridget Green. Wheaton looking to go first and second, and just barely into the pool. It's Foster and Sweeney out to huge leads. Foster with the advantage in lane 6 right now for the Lions. Foster still steadily out in front in lane 6. Sweeney about 2.5, 3 lengths behind her in lane 4. Foster's on to her last 25. So it's going to be Wheaton first and second easily here in heat 1 of 2 for the women's 100-yard breaststroke. Foster clocks in at a time of 1:13.24, and coming onto the wall now, and Sweeney at 1:21.89. Updated scores on the women's side just coming in. Wheaton leading Bridgewater 59-14. Also leading Gordon 59-13. Bridgewater leads Gordon 45-27. Just wrapping up heat 1 of 2 for the women's 100 breaststroke. It's going to bring us on to heat 2 of 2 for the women's 100 breaststroke. The scoring heat, as you know by now. For Wheaton's in lane 4 and 7, Brooke Clucci and Maddie Curran. Watch out for Clucci being the favorite in this race. A senior with a lot of experience racing out of lane 4. She's out of Lewiston, Maine. Rest of the pack is featured by Bridgewater State in lanes 2 and 5. Gabriella Rivera, Emily Bradford. Gordon represented in lanes 3 and 6. Ella Schleisler and Lily Brooks.
Clucci looking for her first collegiate win in the 100 breast in a dual meet and or a championship meet. Be very exciting to see.
And so as you just said, Austin, watch out for Clucci in lane 4. So they're underway in the scoring heat, heat 2 of the women's 100-yard breaststroke. Clucci with that early lead in the first 25 for the Wheaton woman. In second place, it's Curran in lane 7.
Clucci looking really, really strong. Nice, tight, short stroke. Get the most speed.
Through her first 50 and on to her last 50, Clucci with a 2-length lead over her teammate Curran in lane 7.
She's got to nail this turn.
Running away with it, it's Clucci in lane 4 for the Lions, and it looks like she's well on her way to her first collegiate victory in the women's 100 breaststroke. Just going to wait to see what the time is. Her teammate Curran will finish in second place out in lane 7. Third place will go to Bridgewater State in lane 5, Emily Bradford.
Really nice showing from Curran and Clucci there.
Wheaton first and second. Said that a plethora amount of times today. Clucci's winning time at 1:08.53. Updated scores on the men's side after the conclusion of their races, and it's still Wheaton dominating. They lead Bridgewater State 57-16 and Gordon 57-7. Bridgewater stretching out their lead over Gordon now at 50-14. Once again, special thanks to Alan Wickstrom for getting us those scores. Turns it over now to the men's 100-yard breaststroke. Three swimmers, racing in heat 1. Lanes 3 and 5, it's Bridgewater's Thomas Roach and Antonio Gonzalez in lane 4. for the Lions. It's the senior Anthony Meglin out of East Hartford, Connecticut. Not even halfway through this race, and so much excitement and winning here from the Wheaton side. My voice just continues to deteriorate. Going to try to make it through all 32 events.
Need to get you some honey after this or something.
Hopefully the dining hall does have honey on the menu today, because I think that's just what the doctor ordered. Also going to need a new polo after this, because it might be 130 degrees in here right now.
I'm so used to it.
Doesn't help that November just spit out a 75-degree day.
And they're off.
Back to the swimming now as we wrapped up your weather report here on the Newmax Sports Network. Meglin trying to get a Wheaton win in lane 4 for the Lions. And heat 1 of 2 of the men's 100-yard breaststroke. He's neck and neck with Roach and Gonzalez, lanes 3 and 5 for the Bears. On to their last 50 now. Just barely with a lead, it's Gonzalez over Meglin in lane 5. Meglin's going to try to have to catch him.
I think he might on this turn here.
Coming onto the wall on the near side, Meglin's going to need a push.
It looks like it.
Just about evens it up now with Gonzalez. It's going to be tight coming to the wall. Meglin needs a push, but Gonzalez now just inching out and taking that lead back.
It looked like for a second there.
Meglin evened up Gonzalez going on to the last 25, but Gonzalez just too much for Meglin as he pushes away and takes the win and heat 1 of the men's 100-yard breaststroke.
It's hard to compete with a faster pace. Gonzalez's turns weren't as good as Tony's were.
Brings us now to the scoring heat. Heat 2 of the men's 100-yard breaststroke. Lanes 2, 5, and 7 for Wheaton. It's Eric Booth, Ben Goho, Braxton Farron. For Bridgewater in lane 3, Cooper Castellone, Ryan McKenzie. And the lone Gordon swimmer in lane 4, Zach Barneson. And out to an early lead, it's Ben Goho in lane 5.
Yeah, this will be really interesting to see what Ben Goho can do here. 26-4 in the 50 breast earlier this meet. I mean, you can't go faster than that, really.
Goho kicking out and extending his lead in lane 5 for the Lions. Second place, it's too tough to tell by the naked eye here. Might belong to Bridgewater in lane 6 with Ryan McKenzie.
Yeah, McKenzie looks just a little bit longer than Braxton does, but you never know on this turn right here. Yeah, Braxton's just a tiny little bit in front, actually. He's just longer than the other kid.
It's the junior Goho. Dominant stretch to finish with a winning time of 1 minute flat, .96.
Yeah, that is a cranking time for Goho. 009.
Farron does complete the late comeback and take second place in lane 7 for the Lions. Lane 3, third place, Cooper Castellone for the Bears. Now have updated scores on the women's side through the 100-yard breaststroke. Wheaton 72, Bridgewater State 17. Wheaton also over Gordon 72-13. Bridgewater State leading Gordon 54-27.
Two fly.
Women's 200-yard butterfly. Just 2 swimmers swimming in the entire event here. The women's 200-yard fly, as I said, it's event 11. Alexa DiCenzo in lane 4. Garen Stone in lane 6.
Yeah, this is another event that Lydia did a lot, and she scored a lot in it because all the other teams really didn't put their swimmers in it, as you can see. Barrett loves to put people in the 2-fly, though, so that's where they can score the points. Like, it's really strategy at that point.
It also gives Wheaton a good chance here. Well, thank the competition for that, for Wheaton to go first and second in an event, because obviously just 2 swimmers in the whole event. Stone just leading DiCenzo in lane 6. Stone with about half-length lead over DiCenzo. Over a minute in now. Stone widening her lead over her teammate in lane 6.
This is about point in the race where it starts to get very grueling. Got like a 75 left. Nothing left in the tank, basically.
Down the stretch, Stone widening her lead. She makes one final turn off to our left. Stone with a final touch off to our right, the near side block. As she continues to dominate and have a really great start to her first year campaign here in Norton. And it's Stone ousting DiCenzo for first place in the women's 200 fly with a time of 2:20.22. DiCenzo at 2:25.13. Updated scores on the men's side through the 100 breaststroke. It's all Wheaton. Wheaton 72-20 over Bridgewater, 73-9 over Gordon. Bridgewater leading Gordon 66-16. Brings us now to the men's 200 fly. Just 4 swimmers in this event. 2 for Bridgewater, 2 for Wheaton. Lanes 3 for Bridgewater, Brennan Gravanda, Chase Samoa. For lanes 4 and 6 for the Lions, it's the sophomores Sean Hill and Colton Lebrecq.
Yeah, underwaters on this race as well. I mean, I say that at almost every race, but in the 2-fly especially, that's really your only relief that you're getting. And if you can push those underwaters, you're going to be well off in your energy standard just because you're just taking a break from doing fly. Walls and underwaters in the 2-fly, that is like the only break you get, really.
Would you say, is fly the most grueling event? That or what? What's up for grabs with probably the most tiring?
I would say the 4 a.m. Just because it's, 200 yards longer. Oh, well, no, this is the 2-fly, I guess. So, yes. So it's 200 yards longer. You're swimming all the different strokes, but once you get to breaststroke, I mean, I would say the 4 a.m. would be worse than this. I've swam this not short course. I've swam at long course, which is like Olympic size 50 meter. And that's a lot worse than swimming at short course just because you don't have walls like in long course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I swam the 4 a.m. and I would say that's more grueling.
Well, no one's catching Sean Hill here in the men's 200-yard fly without a miracle. Hill, a sophomore out of Ellsworth, Maine.
And you can even see it here. Even though Sean's like in such a lead right now, like you can see on the last 50, he really just has to get all he has into getting his arms over.
Hill's teammate in lane 6, Lebrecq, sits in second.
It's a really good finish, though, by Hill.
Hill at 2:07.72. An easy win in the men's 200 fly. Lebrecq second place, lane 6, 2:12.37. Third place, Samoa for Bridgewater at 2:15.61. Now on to our fastest event of the day, the women's 50 free.
There's probably like 3 heats of this, huh?
There are going to be just 2 heats.
Just 2?
For both women's and men's. A quick look at the field now for the women's 50 free. In lane 2 for Bridgewater, Savannah Levine. In lane 3 for Gordon, Liliana DeFeo. Lane 4 for Wheaton, Allison Kramer. Lane 5, Bridgewater, Lily Morrison. And lane 6 for Gordon, Abigail Van Brunt. But right now it's Kramer through the first 25 in the lead. This is her first meet of the season as she competes on the Wheaton women's soccer team as well, who wrapped up their season this past week. And Kramer, 100% in her meets this season. First event, first win. Kramer with a time of 27.43 comes away in heat 1 of the women's 50 free. Second place, lane 5, Lily Morrison of Bridgewater. Third place, lane 3, Leona DeFeo for Gordon. Updated scores on the women's side going into this. Wheaton 85, Bridgewater 17. Wheaton 85, Gordon 13, and Bridgewater leading Gordon 54-27. Now heat 2, the scoring heat. Karis Mann in lane 1 for Wheaton. Also for Wheaton in lane 4, Emma Lambert-Shemo. And in lane 7, Megan Simone. In lanes 2 and 5 for Bridgewater, Michaela Packin and Bryn Murray. And in lane 3 and 6 for Gordon, Janelle Maxwell and Mia Frazier. Watch out for Lambert-Shemo. She's in lane 4 and has the lead through the first 25.
Looks pretty
Makes a
tight.
steady turn. It's out of Brecksville, Ohio. And it's going to be Lambert-Shemo down the stretch with a win, clocking in at 26.64, second place. Lane 5, Bryn Murray of Bridgewater. Third place, lane 7, Megan Simone. So Wheaton tabs first and third for the women's 50 free. Now brings us to the men's 50 free, not 53. Just 3 swimmers swimming in heat 1. Lanes 3 and 5 for Bridgewater, Barrett Stutzman, Enrico Palanza, and the lone Wheaton swimmer in heat 1, Luis Benetti, in lane 4. Benetti out of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. Any international swimmers in your time at Wheaton?
Yeah, there was a lot. I was going to say when we were talking about like recruiting and stuff earlier, never mentioned. There were I believe there was 4 international swimmers when I was on the team. A couple of them left when I was a sophomore. We graduated 2 last year and then 1 before that. So yeah. So and it's funny too. We had all the flags and stuff from their countries up on the wall, but they're taken down now.
Talking about international swimmers, and a win for an international swimmer there, Benetti. Out of the Dominican Republic, takes the win in heat 1 of the men's 53 with a speedy time of 23.55. Second place, Palanza of Bridgewater State, 23.65, so just a tenth of a second behind Benetti. Now heat 2 of the men's 50 free. Evan Domingos in lane 2 for Wheaton. His teammates in lane 5, Will Larson, Will Garno in lane 7. For Bridgewater in lanes 3 and 6, Eric Silva and Christopher Anastasiades. And in lane 4 for Gordon, Dorian Borgunnigan.
Watch out for Evan Domingos. Really cranking it.
Domingos in lane 2. Going to be a really close race between himself and Larson in lane 5. But it's lane 5. Will Larson to the line first, the rookie, with a time of 22.60.
That is not half bad. I think I saw him the first meet. He went like 21-0. It's crazy.
Lane 7, second place. Will Garno, the veteran for the Lions, at 22.85.
That's actually a really good time for Will. He's usually a distance swimmer. It's very fun to see him in sprint.
Looks like we may have a little break in the pool here after the men's 50 free. So with that, we'll take our first break of the day. You're watching Wheaton College men's and women's swim and dive on the NewMax Sports Network alongside Austin Halstead. I'm Jackson Walsh. Back live inside Balfour Natatorium, getting ready to get back underway alongside Austin Halstead. I'm Jackson Walsh. Wheaton dominating Bridgewater State and Gordon on both the men's and women's side. On the men's side, Wheaton's leading Gordon 105-13. On the women's side, it's 104-19. Get to the rest of the scores in a second, but we're getting back underway here with heat 1 of 2 of the women's 100 free. In lanes 1, 4, and 7 for the Lions, it's Ann Sweeney, Vivian Van Holland, and Megan Simone. For Gordon in lanes 3 and 6, Lillian DeFeo and Abigail Van Burt. And then for Bridgewater, lanes 2 and 5, Bridget Green, Cameron Beals. Right now in lane 4, with a lead and going steady, it's the rookie Van Holland. Van Holland still going strong. Close bout for second place in lanes 1 and 7 between two Wheaton Lions. It's Ann Sweeney in lane 1, Megan Simone in 7. To the wall first in lane 4, Vivian Van Holland. And a sweep for the Lions in heat 1 is second place. Goes to Simone in lane 7, third place. Sweeney in lane 1. Before we get to heat 2, a quick look at the complete scores. On the men's side, Wheaton leads Bridgewater 110-32. They also lead Gordon 117-19. And Bridgewater's leading Gordon 86-37. On the women's side, Wheaton 112-21 over Bridgewater, 113-19 over Gordon. Bridgewater 73-37 over Gordon. Now the scoring heat 2 of 2 of the women's 100 free. Lanes 1, 4, 7, and 8 for the Lions. Laura Molesworth, Bridget Cleveland, Alexa DeCenzo, Leah Schulte. Lanes 2 and 5 for the Bears. Brianna Maddie, Olivia Pelletier. Lane 3 and 6 for the Fighting Scots of Gordon, Janelle Maxwell, Grace Haxanasto. That's Cleveland in lane 4 with an early lead.
Yeah, Cleveland displaying what we want to see in 100 free. Very fast tempo with her arms.
She's through her first 50 at 26.56. Cleveland still out in front, getting ready to make her final turn. Close race out in lane 7 and 8 between, that's DeCenzo and Schulte. This is another race where it's going to be Wheaton first, second, and third. They'll be led by the first year, Bridget Cleveland in lane 4 with a time of 55.68, taking the win in the women's 100 free. Second place, DeCenzo lane 7, 57.76, and third place in lane 8 at 58.29, Leah Schulte.
55.6 for Cleveland. It's very, very fast.
Wheaton just keeps running the score up now as we turn to the men's 100 free. 2 heats as well, 4 swimmers in heat 1. For Bridgewater State in lanes 3 and 5, it's Roach and Arpin. For Wheaton in lanes 4 and 6, Chappell and Bonetti. So they're off in heat 1. In event 18 of the day, the men's 100 free. Through the first 25, a really contested race between all the swimmers.
It's promising to see Chappell in the non-scoring heat of this event. That just means there's 3-4 more swimmers on the men's team that, ultimately could swim this faster than him and score.
Chapel holding on to second place in lane 4, but right now in first it's Benetti in lane 6. Benetti already has a win under his belt today, and it looks like he'll have another out in lane 6 with a time of 52.49. A win in Heat 1 of the men's 100 free. Second place, lane 4, Will Chapel at 53.27. Third place, Bridgewater State's Artman in lane 5. Before we get started in Heat 2 of the men's 100 free, we have updated diving scores. On the women's side, on the 1 meter board, taking the win with a score of 204.83, Alexa Wilson, Morgan Coughlin-Doyle, and Bella Barrett, second and third for the Lions. Lone men's diver Peter Beyer, 180.07 for the win. Now in Heat 2 of the men's 100, Anton Lopez neck and neck with Bridgewater's Joseph Purvier in lanes 4 and 5, and Lopez is widening that gap through the first 50. Lopez, the sophomore out of Oakland, California. Attended high school in Switzerland at the International School Basel. Lopez is going to go uncontested in the men's 100 free. Wow. Soaring to the wall, speedy at 48.37.
Yeah, if he didn't lift his head up on that finish, he probably would have went 47.
Second place is also going to go to the Lions in lane 7, the rookie Brody Wilson. And in third place, it's Bridgewater State's Purvier in lane 5. Wilson was just over 2 seconds behind Lopez. Clocked in at 50.46. It's now going to bring us to the women's 200-yard back. And just to make a quick note, this is an event along with any other backstroke event. You usually see Reese Hartman in, and Reese Hartman winning, but her along with Katie Walls, two of the top swimmers in the sophomore class for Wheaton, not competing today. So now look to Garen Stone in lane 5 for Wheaton, but her teammates can also get in the mix as well. Lanes 1 and 2 features Dalton and Taylor. Lane 7, Chesley and Jensen. In lane 3 for Bridgewater, it's Rank, along with her teammate Olsen in lane 6, and the lone Gordon swimmer, Mia Frazier, in lane 4. Women just about to get underway in the 200-yard back. Updated scores are in for both sides now. On the men's side, Wheaton leading Bridgewater 138-41, and leading Gordon 146-22. Bridgewater leading Gordon 110-44 on the men's side. For the women, it's Wheaton 134, Bridgewater State 26, 135-19 over Gordon, and Bridgewater leading Gordon 86-37. Through the first 50 now of the women's 200-yard back. Sitting in first place, it looks like Garen Stone in lane 5.
Yeah, not even a body length at this point.
Right behind Stone in a really tight race for second place in lanes 1 and 2. It's Dolan and Taylor for the Lions.
Looks like all the Lady Lions right now are outpacing Bridgewater and Gordon. Majority Lions in the pool.
Good chance here for another Wheaton sweep as they're currently led by Stone in lane 5. In second place, it's Allie Taylor, lane 2. Dalton in lane 1 for Wheaton sits in third. Looks like Stone still keeping a good pace in lane 5. Taylor comfortably in second, about a length ahead of the front of her teammate. Dalton positioned right next to her in lane 1. So it's Garen Stone just running away with this one. And a win for Stone in the women's 200-yard back with a time of 2:15.69. And chalk that up for another sweep for the Lions. Second place goes to Taylor in lane 2. Just 4 seconds behind Stone in third place. The first-year Dalton in lane 1. Bridgewater State grabs fourth place. Olivia Rank in lane 3. All the swimmers wrap up here. That now takes us to the men's 200-yard back. Bridgewater State's represented in lanes 1, 2, 5, and 8. Brendan Goff, Connor Young in lanes 1 and 2. Brady Callahan, lane 5. TJ Scalisi in lane 8. And for Gordon in lane 3 and 6, it's Teeter and Barneson. And for the Lions, lane 4 and 7, Farron in lane 4, Hill in lane 7.
Yeah, for Hill and Braxton, both off events here, so let's see what they can do in the two back. I don't think I've ever seen them swim the two back.
Through the first 25. A really close race, and looks like it might even be in favor of Bridgewater State at the moment. Lane 2, Connor Young, the junior out of Chelmsford, sits in first place. Looks like, not sure if you can elaborate on this, Austin,
yeah.
but Young in lane 2 looks like he's really just getting his back and shoulders into it more than the other swimmers.
Yeah, I was going to say, never seen anything really like that. I don't know if that's actually legal. He's not getting disqualified. I'm looking for the officials here. To my knowledge, you cannot dolphin kick when you're swimming like that. It gives a huge advantage, so I don't know exactly if he's going to actually have an official time here or if they're just going to let this slide. I don't know. I could be wrong.
Well, we'll see what the officials end up saying, but for the moment, it's Connor Young of Bridgewater out to a pretty big lead in lane 2. Young's going to make another turn on the wall. Wheaton sitting in second and third with Farron and Hill. Looks like Hill currently sits in second in lane 7. Farron in fourth in lane 4. Excuse me, Farron in third in lane 4.
Yeah, I'm very puzzled. I really don't know if that's legal or not. I would have called it if I was the official, but I'm not.
So, not sure what the ruling will be. I haven't seen or heard anything from the officials, but for the moment, I believe that's Bridgewater State or Gordon's first win of the day on the men's or women's side. And it goes to Connor Young in lane 2 of the men's 200-yard back with a time of 2:08.03. Second place, Sean Hill, lane 7 at 2:11. Third place, Farron in lane 4 for the Lions. Notice that right away, the unique technique.
Yeah.
Haven't. We'll
Well,
see if we get official word on it.
Yeah, I've seen a very bouncy backstroke before, but nothing like that. Like dolphin kicking while backstroke. Like I've never heard of that being legal.
Now turns us over to the women's 200-yard breaststroke. Lanes 1, 4, and 7 for the Lions. It's Maddie Curran, Brooke Clucci, and Emma Lambert-Shemo. Lanes 2, 5, and 8 for Bridgewater. Gabriela Rivera, Olivia Pelletier, Samantha White. Lanes 3 and 6 for Gordon, Catherine Maloney, Ella Schleiser.
Yeah, the most important thing about a 200 breast is just to keep it long and strong. You can see Clucci's doing that really well. She's looking really, really, really good in her 200 this year.
So that's Clucci at the top of your screen to the wall first through the first 50 for the women's 200 breast.
Yeah, you can see her getting her head down, gliding. It's exactly what you want.
Second place not far behind her, Lambert-Shemo in lane 7 for the Lions. Looks like third place belongs to lane 1. Curran trying to complete the sweep for Wheaton 1 through 3.
Yeah, if Clucci can hold 38.0, she's going to go very fast. She's only going to pick up her tempo here on the second 100.
Clucci sitting in first, Lambert-Shemo second place, lane 7, and in third place, Curran. Clucci looks like she's widening that lead over her teammate Lambert-Shemo.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to turns on this last 50. Nailed that one. She can't be short. There you go. You can see her extending her tempo, getting it a little bit faster. She's just giving it all she's got left. Holds a tiny little bit back for the last 50. That's the strategy.
Clucci dominant out in front here in the women's 200 breast. Lambert-Shemo still in second in lane 7. And bearing the unthinkable would be a Wheaton sweep as Curran sits comfortably in third in lane 1. Down the stretch for an easy win, Brooke Clucci. Lane 4 with a time of 2:36.1. Gives Wheaton another victory on the women's side. Second place, Lambert-Shemo. Lane 7 with a time of 2:34.11, and in third place, Curran. Lane 1 at 2:43.19. More updated scores. On the men's side, Wheaton leads Bridgewater 154-46. They also lead Gordon 162-24. Bridgewater still holding that lead over Gordon at 122-28. Women's side, more of the same story. Wheaton 141-38 over Bridgewater, 148-24 over Gordon, and Bridgewater 100-42 over Gordon.
I'm excited to see what Goho can do here.
Yep, so now we're on to the men's 200-yard breast. As you just mentioned, Austin Goho will be the favorite. He's in lane 4 for Wheaton. In lane 2 for the Lions as well, Liam Hill. Lane 6 and 7 also Wheaton, Eric Booth and Alexander Minichiello. Lanes 1, 3, 5, and 7 all Bridgewater State. Stringfellow, Simeo, Anastasiadis, and Gonzalez.
Yeah, Goho's having a stellar meet today. He's got to get his head down.
Goho, the junior out of Lincoln, Rhode Island, currently sits in the lead as we approach the end of the first 50 in the men's 200-yard breaststroke.
Go-Ho splitting 30.2. If he can hold that 31s, 30s, it's going to be a very solid time. Just got to nail these turns, got to get that head down, got to extend as long as he can.
Go-Ho still sitting in the lead in lane 4. It's like second place belongs to Bridgewater either in lane 3 or in lane 5 with Simeo and Anastasiadis.
105.5 for the 100 split.
Go-Ho widening that lead. Behind him in lane 3, Chase Samoa for Bridgewater.
Go-Ho slowing down a tiny little bit. 37.2 on that last 50. He's really got to push it here.
Samoa still sits in second for Bridgewater. It's a sophomore out of Stonington, Connecticut.
Yeah, Go-Ho's still going to go a very solid time here.
Samoa making up a little ground, but he's going to run out of time. Ben Go-Ho starts to finish with a win in the men's 200-yard breaststroke. Winning time at 2:21.49. Samoa behind him by just over 4 seconds at 2:25.77. Third place, lane 2, Liam Hill for the Lions. So Wheaton first and third. Bridgewater gets second in the men's 200 breaststroke. Now, our last long event of the day. It's going to be the women's 500 free. In lane 1 for Wheaton, Taylor Kutu. Lane 2, for Bridgewater, Olivia Pasquaro. For Gordon in lane 3, Grace Haxanasto. In lane 4, 6, and 7, all for Wheaton, it's Kat Foster, Vivian Van Hollen, and Maddie King. And rounding out the pack in lane 5 for Bridgewater, it's Emily Bradford. Second longest event of the day, just after the 1,000. Last longest event of the entire day, though. And right now, it's Kat Foster in the lead in lane 4. Second place, just behind her, the rookie Van Hollen for Wheaton. Foster in the lead. She's a junior out of Weston, Connecticut.
Yeah, generally you see distance swimmers have more of a deeper catch, which basically means like when they're taking their freestyle stroke, their hand is like a lot farther under the water than Kat's is right now. But you can see she's going really shallow.
Working for Foster at the moment. She still holds first place over Van Hollen. And sitting in third in lane 5 for Bridgewater, it's Emily Bradford. Bradford, a freshman out of Pittsfield, Massachusetts, out on the New York border of the state. Foster still kicking strong off to our left as she makes another turn and wraps up a 50.
She's holding a very, very good pace. I believe it's like low 32s, 31s. It's all about what you can do consistently in the 500 and then sprint at the end.
Still all Kat Foster in this one. Updated scores on the men's side. Wheaton's leading Bridgewater State 170 to 49, along with leading Gordon 178 to 27. Bridgewater leads Gordon 130 to 39.
Cat halfway, more than halfway now.
Just over that 3:30 mark in to the women's 500 free.
Yeah, she's still really holding consistent 33s, 32s. It's pretty impressive to see. Yeah, she's going to get 17 red at the next. So she's probably 200 out, 150 out at this point. Can't do math quickly in my head.
Foster, a very strong long distance swimmer, and she's proving that right now as she's done so far this season. You usually see her in the 500 and 1,000, always lingering around the top three.
She needs to pick it up in this last 50 here, or this last 100.
Foster still sits in first, with Van Hollen in second in lane 6 as the buzzer sounds, so Foster's on to her last 50 in the 500.
At 33.8. It's very consistent. Probably go 32 high here, maybe a little bit.
Foster's lapped about half of the pack as she comes on to the end of the race, and it's Kat Foster with a dominant start to finish win in the women's 500 free with a time of 5:30.50. Second place, Van Hollen for the Lions in lane 6 at 5:37.05. Still waiting on third place. And it's going to go to Taylor Kutu in lane 1 for Wheaton, 5:46.34. And that means 1, 2, 3, all for the Lions, and yet again another sweep.
I feel like there's only been like one race that they haven't swept.
Rest of the pack wrapping it up, and Wheaton's winning just continues. Long and grueling events still finishing up the last long one on the women's side. Still have one more long one overall, and it's going to be the men's 500 free. That'll be coming up in just a couple of seconds. Look at the pack for the men's. I think I said 50, but obviously 50 wouldn't be very long, so men's 500 free. Getting ready to get underway for Wheaton in lanes 1, 4, and 6. Aiden Carberry, Gavin Cullinan, Brian Hickson. For Bridgewater, lanes 2, 5, and 7. Owen Lasberry Casey, Cooper Castellone, and Cameron Sabrink. The two best male first-year swimmers racing in this event for Wheaton, and Cullinan in lane 4 and Hickson in lane 6.
Yeah, both looking really, really smooth off the start. Tiny, tiny little, like, maybe 4-beat kick, I'd say.
You're going to see Cullinan swimming the anchor in the men's 200 free relay, which will be our last event of the day, coming up just later on. Right now, right neck and neck with each other. It's Cullinan and Hickson, lanes 4 and 6.
Yeah, both are catching the water really well, shooting themselves forward with minimal effort.
Out to a bit of a lead now. It's Cullinan in lane 4. Hickson about a half length behind. Third place belongs to Bridgewater in lane... No, it's going to be Gordon, excuse me.
I would actually say Carberry just hit the wall right now, right in lane 1 here. So I'd say he's a little bit ahead of Gordon.
Oh, yeah, you're right, Austin. Excuse me. It is Wheaton 1, 2, and 3.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just really tough to see lane 1 from right here. Yeah. So Gordon in 4th, Carberry in 3rd for Wheaton. Gordon, that's John Sullivan in lane 3. So Wheaton 1st, 2nd, and 3rd with Cullinan in lane 4, Hickson in lane 6, and Carberry in lane 1. Updated scores on the women's side now, and that point tally just keeps climbing for the Wheaton women. Lead Bridgewater 186-50. And Gordon 194-29. Bridgewater's leading Gordon 145-61. So now Cullinan stretching out that lead over Hickson. He's going to be nearly a half pool length in front of Hickson. Oh, less than that. Hickson had a good turn there. Just overestimated how far in front Cullinan was, but a healthy lead for Cullinan in lane 4 over Hickson in lane 6. And looking for Carberry down below. I mean, there he is now. Tough to see him.
Yeah,
just coming to the wall on the near side. He sits in 3rd.
Yeah, he has about like a 2 body length, 3 body length now. Yeah, Cullinan looking really, really strong, very consistent.
Cullinan looking so good now he's lapping the field.
Last 100.
Cullinan absolutely flying. I think now it's a little bit safe to say he has about a half length
I would say
pull
so
lead
too,
over
yeah.
Hickson.
Yeah.
Buzzer sounds, last 50 here. Cullinan looks like he's going to run away with it.
Yeah, he gets like so much distance off his wall without even like kicking really. Like he'll throw in like one dolphin kick off the wall. One, and then he's like already past the flags basically. He gets a ton of distance off that.
Cullinan coming down to the wall for the final time in the men's 500 free in a dominant performance. Gavin Cullinan takes the win with a time of 5:05.14. His teammate finishing up, fellow freshman in lane 6, Brian Hickson, with a time of 5:14.12. And in third place, as expected, completing the sweep for Wheaton, Aiden Carberry. So Wheaton 1, 2, and 3 in the men's 500. That point tally is just going to keep climbing. I'm sorry, and maybe, at least for my college career broadcasting Wheaton swimming, could be seeing the biggest blowout win the Wheaton men have had. I'm not sure what it was like for you, Austin, if any of you guys did any big wins before my time here, but this is going to be a well over 100-point win.
Yeah, I don't know if it was like this far ahead, but I remember when swimming against Bridgewater, we actually never swam against the Gordon men. That's like a new add-on to this schedule this year. But yeah, I do remember blowing out Bridgewater consistently.
Looks like they'll keep that historic mark up today. Gonna wait to see what the points are gonna be like when they come in for the men, but now for the women's 100 fly, Wheaton featured in lane 7, Bridget Cleveland, Laura Molesworth, Bridgewater, lanes 3, 5, and 7, Olivia Pelletier, Olivia Rank, and Evelyn Olson.
Yeah, it's exciting to see, like, just to add on to that schedule, the new schedule, it's exciting to see, like, new teams. And this year is the first year that Wheaton, or an actual non-main team, will be attending the main meet at Colby this year instead of the MIT Invite, which is generally what Wheaton goes to during that time in the season. So it's just going to be really interesting to see what they can do against, like, NESCAC teams. And teams they've never even swum against, like, in the history of the program. So I'm excited to see that. And I'll be attending all the away meets. So
Bridget Cleveland leading the women's 100 fly. To the wall first, Cleveland, earning another collegiate win in the women's 100 fly with a time of 1:04.51. Second place, lane 6, Laura Molesworth, so Wheaton 1 and 2. Third place will go to Bridgewater in lane 5, Olivia Rank. Updated scores on the men's side. Wheaton leading Bridgewater 121-53. Now they're leading Gordon 184-23, and Bridgewater leading Gordon 155-37. Now for Heat 1 of 2 of the men's 100 fly. Heat 1 will feature just 3 swimmers, 2 for Wheaton, 1 for Bridgewater. Caden Gilbert, lane 4, Anthony Meglin, lane 6 for the Lions, and in lane 5 for Bridgewater, Barrett Stutzman.
it's an off event for Caden as well.
Gilbert and Meglin in the lead right now, coming to the conclusion of their first 50 to the wall first. It's Meglin in lane 6.
Yeah, Tony looking really, really smooth. He's always has a very, very smooth butterfly. He just kind of glides on top of the water for his size. It's just very impressive.
like Meglin's going to glide his way to a victory out in lane 6 for heat 1 of the men's 100 fly, clocking in with a winning time at 58.34. His teammate, the sophomore Caden Gilbert, second place in lane 4 at 102.58. So that was not the scoring heat, but we'll see the scoring heat now here. Heat 2 of the men's 100 fly. Bridgewater in lanes 2 and 5 with Palanza and Gravanda. Wheaton lanes 4 and 7. 2 rookies, Andrew Tran and Will Larson. And then Gordon Major Adair in lane 3 and Zach Barneson in lane 6.
Yeah,
Horn sounds and they're underway.
Off event for Tran. He really can swim anything. This is kind of really impressive.
Tran in the lead through the first 25. Sits in lane 4. Looks like second place belongs to Larson out in lane 7. Third place, I believe Bridgewater. Oh no, Gordon's going to hold it at the moment with Adair. No, it is going to be Bridgewater. I misspoke. Palanza in lane 2.
Wow. Yeah, Tran's looking really strong. Very, very nice technique.
Last 25 for Tran, and he's got a huge lead over his teammate Larson and the rest of the pack.
He's going to go like 55.
Last couple of seconds, Tran to the wall. Just under what you predicted, Austin. A winning time of 54.29.
Wow.
Andrew Tran with a win in the men's 100 fly.
I really haven't seen him go anything like, average this season. Like, he's just blowing everything out of the water for dual meet times in this conference, at least.
Big win for Tran there. Second place goes to his teammate and fellow freshman Will Larson in lane 7. Third place, it's going to go to Gravanda of Bridgewater in lane 5. We have our next break coming up, and it will be our final break before the men's and women's 200-yard IM and then relays. Stay with us as we come to the end here on the Newmax Sports Network. Home stretch here on the Newmax Sports Network. Wheaton gonna run away, with dominant wins over Bridgewater and Gordon. Last few events of the day coming up. First one will be the women's 200 IM. Going to be 2 heats of this. In the first heat, it's going to be all Wheaton with McHenrick in lane 2, Dalton in lane 4, Curry in lane 6. And I'm just barely holding on to my voice right now, so Austin's going to have to help push me over the edge as we come to the end.
You got it. I'll help you out. I don't have the heat sheet in front of me, though, so I can't do names.
I'm holding on for the end. I gotcha. First 50 to the wall first. Dalton in lane 4 with the lead.
Yeah, all 3 ladies looking pretty consistent.
We'll have heat 2 after this. It'll be the scoring heat. On the second leg of the 200 IM right now, it's the backstroke.
This next leg will really determine who's going to be in the lead for this. Breaststrokes always weeds out people who can swim it and who can't.
Right now it's Dalton in first in lane 4. Second place McHenrick lane 2. And not far behind them is Curry in lane 6. Dalton still holding a steady lead, first place lane 4.
On to the final leg.
Freestyle now. Under 50 meters to go. Dalton still holding first place with a little bit of steam, though, in lane 2. It's McHenrick.
Yeah, she didn't save, but really pushing this freestyle.
McHenrick, the sophomore out of Wayne, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, with IMs, you really have to play to your strengths.
So Dalton to the wall first in heat 1 of the women's 200 IM. Time of 2:26.8. Second place, lane 2. It's going to be, I just completely looked in the wrong spot on my sheet. McHenrick, in lane 2. Second place, 2:23.55. Curry rounds out the pack. Third place, lane 6. Now on to the scoring heat. Heat 2 of the women's 200 IM. Features just Wheaton and Bridgewater. Wheaton in lane 2. Karis Mann also in lanes 4 and 6 for the Lions. DeCenzo and Schulte. Bridgewater State in lanes 3, 5, and 7 with Rivera, Maddie, and White. Sitting in first right now, DeCenzo in lane 4. She's on to the second leg, the backstroke.
This is where Schulte really shines.
Schulte not far behind DeCenzo. Schulte's second place in lane 6, but also in the mix, it's Mann in lane 2. Brianna Maddie, the sophomore out of Cumberland, Rhode Island, sits in 4th in lane 5.
Yeah, Schulte gaining some distance on that backstroke.
Schulte's right there with DeCenzo now. DeCenzo with about a half-length lead as she touches the wall on the near side. Don't count out Karis Mann, though.
Yeah, she's flying.
Mann in second place, lane 2 in third place.
See what she can do on the freestyle leg. Hit the wall a little slow.
On to the fourth and final leg of the 200 IM, the freestyle.
It's really going to get those legs going.
In lane 4, it's DeCenzo who made up some ground and is expanding her lead in first place. Schultes still behind her, about 2 lengths back and second. And in lane 3, third place for the Lions, Karis Mann. So that wraps up the women's 200 IM. The winning time for Alexa DeCenzo in lane 4, 2:24.1. Just around 2 seconds behind her. In lane 6, second place Leah Schulte. Lane 2, Karis Mann grabs third with 2:25.29. So another race dominated by Wheaton. That'll be the final one for the woman before the 200 free relay.
I don't think we mentioned yet Alan Wick. He told us that the women are now swimming exhibition. The Wheaton women are not scoring anymore based on the scores.
So with that, we go on to the men's 200 IM. There will be 2 heats, just like the women's race. Heat 1, Bridgewater in lanes 3 and 5, Connor Young, TJ Scalise. Lanes 4 and 5 for the Lions, Will Garno and Liam Hill.
Just a quick shout out to a friend watching, Coleman Comashane, an alum from Bowdoin Swim and Dive, tuning in for his first Wheaton meet. I don't think he's ever watched one before. Very good friend of mine, swam on my club team.
Good time for him to tune in. He's going to see 2 big Wheaton W's on both the men's and women's side.
I see more and a more aggressive illegal backstroke going on right here. I was wondering if he was going to pull it out again.
He is pulling it out. Austin's referring to Connor Young for Bridgewater in lane 3. He sits in second place. Will Garno in lane 4, still holding on to the lead, and Young made up ground in that backstroke. Austin still in disbelief that hasn't been called out for as an illegal move.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta do my research after this. Apparently, I mean, all my fellow alum up here have given me weird looks. I don't think they agree with the stroke either, but.
Garno with a big lead now in lane 4. Young of Bridgewater in lane 3 sits in second. Liam Hill out in lane 6 for the Lions in third. Last 50 now, it's the freestyle. And just widening his lead is Will Garno, a senior out of Glastonbury, Connecticut. Garno's flying down the stretch, and he'll take an easy win in Heat 1 for the men's 200 IM.
Both Lions able to take over the illegal backstroke.
And a comeback out in lane 6 for Liam Hill. He overtakes Young of Bridgewater, who falls into third. So it's Wheaton first and second with Garno and Hill.
That's a really solid time, 2:06.9 for Garno. Another off event for him. I think Barrett put him in some events that he normally doesn't swim just to mix up the season a little bit.
Now time for the scoring heat, Heat 2 of the men's 200 IM. For Bridgewater in lanes 2 and 6, Chase Samoa and 2 and 5 for Bridgewater. Chase Samoa and Christopher Anastiades. For Gordon in lanes 3 and 6, Brendan Teeter and John Sullivan. And for the Lions, lanes 4 and 7, Brian Hickson and Sean Hill.
Yeah, Sean has some of the best underwaters on the men's team. Didn't really show it there, but I'm expecting him to push it on this next wall after he catches his breath.
Out to an early lead on the backstroke, Sean Hill.
Yeah, there it is. That was a little shorter than I thought.
Hill's out in lane 7. Second place, his teammate, the rookie Brian Hickson. He's in lane 4. Still with the lead out in lane 7, it's Sean Hill. Brian Hickson not far behind in lane 4. He's in second. And for Bridgewater in third, lane 5, Anastades.
This Bridgewater swimmer, is his first name Antonio?
It's Christopher.
Christopher, okay. I believe he has a brother, Antonio, I used to swim against in club.
Coming up on the last 25, it's the freestyle. Sean Hill, start to finish, will have a win and chalk up more points for the Wheaton men. Not far behind him, Brian Hickson in lane 4. He's in second. Anastades will finish in third for the Bears in lane 5. So yet again, another race that features a Wheaton win, and Wheaton coming in first and second with Hill and Hickson. Winning time for Sean Hill, 2:05.10. Hickson, a little over 3 seconds behind him, 2:08.41.
Takes us to our last event of the meet.
Our last event for both the women and men, arguably the most exciting event. It's the 200 free relay. Wheaton will be in lanes 1, 4, 6, and 8. Bridgewater, lanes 2, 5, and 7. Gordon with one team in lane 3. Watch out for that Wheaton team in lane 4. Emma Lambert-Shemo, Allie Taylor, Brooke Clucci, and Darren Stone. Can really tell that the swimmers give it their all for the last event of the day, especially because they're just swimming a quick 50 free up and back.
Yep. Oh, it's always been my favorite event of the meets, to swim at least, just because of that feeling of, oh, it's almost done. Got to swim it one more time, give it your all. Like you said, too, it is one of the most exciting events of the meet, just because it can get so close.
It's really tight right now, but lane 4 has a lead for Wheaton. The second leg, swim by Allie Taylor. She'll hand it off to Brooke Clucci, and in lane 6, Megan Simone will give it off to Laura Molesworth.
Brooke has a really, really nice tempo going.
Clucci stretching out that lane 4 team lead.
Wall slowed her down a little bit. Just keep it back up. Get those legs going. There it is.
So anchoring in lane 4 for Wheaton as Clucci comes to the wall will be Garen Stone. The anchor in lane 6 for the Lions, Maddie Curran. Garen Stone's holding a good place, and Curran comes on to her last 25. Wheaton will also take the sweep, it looks like, in lane 1. Taylor Kutu swimming the anchor after Allison Taylor swam the third leg. Into the wall first with their one of many wins in their last win of the day. It'll be Wheaton first and second in the women's 200 free relay Lane 4 was anchored by Garen Stone, wrapping up her day. Winning time of 1:44.97 for Wheaton in lane 4. Not far behind them, though, was the Wheaton team in lane 1 with Taylor Kudo swimming the anchor. Wheaton taking the sweep. Lane 6 gets third place, anchored by Maddie Curran. So what a day for the Wheaton women as they wrap it up in the 200 free relay.
Super dominant. 1, 2, 3 in most events. I really can't remember which one they didn't go 1, 2, 3 in, or 1, 2.
I believe they won every single event.
Yep.
Held first place in every single event.
Yep.
The lone.
It's very dominant, very impressive.
Off the top of my head, the lone event where a Wheaton swimmer didn't get first place on the men's or women's side was the backstroke.
Right, that's right.
That Austin's not agreeing with the technique of the Bridgewater swimmer that took the win, but it holds. So now event 32, the men's 200 free relay, the last event of the day. Bridgewater will be in lanes 1, 3, 5, and 7. Wheaton in 2, 4, 6, and 8. Gordon not to be featured. And just looking at these names, this Wheaton team in lane 4 is really going to fly. Andrew Tran, Anton Lopez, Will Larson, and Gavin Cullinan.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's one of the most stacked relays. Giving him a run for his money. Tran a little bit slow off the wall, I saw. Let's see what he could go, though. I haven't seen him swim a 50. Off a start, 22.7.
These guys are absolutely flying right now. Tran hands it off to Lopez, swimming the second leg, and it looks like Wheaton holds on to second place in lane 6. Brody
Lopez.
Wilson kicked it off, and Domingo's swimming the second leg right now.
Lopez is going to give them more of a lead here. See if this third leg can really hold on and or blast off. Yep.
Third leg now.
There we go.
For the Lions in lane 4, it's Will Larson.
That was a quick turn.
Larson, the first year in the lead, not far behind him, his teammate Ben Goho in lane 6. The anchor ready to come on. It's the rookie in lane 4 for Wheaton, Gavin Cullinan in lane 6. Braxton Farron.
Wow, what a relay start by Farron there.
Third place, Bridgewater has it at the moment in lane 5, anchored by Joseph Purvier.
Yeah, Braxton's relay start was so good. He gained like a body length on lane 4.
It's been the story all day, and it continues in the last meet of the day. Wheaton takes the win in the men's 200 free relay.
128.2 for first place for lane 4. Very impressive.
So that lane 4 team anchored by Cullinan with the win. Second place goes to Wheaton in lane 6. Braxton Farron. Third place, Bridgewater State, lane 5, anchored by Joseph Purvier. And I believe these are final scores we have on the women's side. Up. So final scores on the women's side. Wheaton defeats Bridgewater State 186-97. They defeat Gordon 194-38. And Bridgewater defeats Gordon 190-65. Should be hearing an announcement for the men's scores momentarily. And my producer, Alan Wickstrom, informed us earlier that our post-game interviews will be conducted by my partner, Austin Halstead. So stay with us after we get the final score for the men's. So Austin will have a couple swimmers from the men's and women's side come up here to talk about their victories today. For those of you at home, that was Austin finding out that he will be conducting the post-game interviews.
Trying to think of what I could say.
Final scores being announced now. So those were the women's scores that were just announced that I already got to over the air. The men's scores should be coming up now. Bridgewater 198-47 over Gordon. And then two massive wins for Wheaton over Gordon and Bridgewater State as expected on both the men's and women's side. Didn't get to hear the Wheaton final scores, but I know Bridgewater was 97 and then Gordon was well under 100 for scoring on the men's side. So this is the last you're going to hear from me today, but stay with us as my partner, Austin Halstead, just excited to hear Austin talk. I'm just running over my words. He'll be staying live here on the Newmax Sports Network for a post-game talk with the Wheaton men's and women's swimmers. So from the Newmax Sports Network, I'm Jackson Walsh. Thanks for being with us today. Stay tuned for Austin Halstead in the post-game.
Alrighty, we are back with Bridget Cleveland, a first year. Bridget, you swam the 200-yard med, the 100 back, 100 free, and the 100 fly. How did the medley relay go, and how did you feel swimming it?
I thought it was great. I always love starting off the medley relay and just like being able to like cheer on the rest of my team after I swim and just like watching how everyone does. I think it's a great energy, so I love relays.
Awesome, yeah. So you swam like a pretty big spread of events, 100 back, 100 free, 100 fly, and then obviously medley relay. So what do you think's your favorite / your best event out of those three?
So my best event out of those three would probably be the 100 back, but I think it was really fun to swim like the 100 fly, which I've never swam here yet, and I don't really swim very often, so.
Awesome. So in club, like I'm assuming 100 back was the pinnacle of your career in club. How is it translating into college, and how is club versus college swimming?
It's definitely a different environment, like being here, like us and like one or two other teams, and just like everyone's cheering, everyone's like so excited and like supporting their teammates, and like it's just such a different energy being here, and I think it like makes you swim so much faster because you feel so supported and like so excited to swim.
Awesome. Well, Bridget, great job today.
Thank you.
Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, we are back with Ben Goho. Ben, you swam the 2 med today, the 100 breast and the 2 breasts. Your 2 med, if I remember correctly, it was 25.6 or 26.5. How did that feel? You looked really good.
It felt great. The 2 medley is honestly my favorite event. 50 breast in general, my favorite event. I love it. The energy is amazing, and you just feed off that energy and go as fast as you can.
Yeah, for sure. The 100 breast 009 dual meet. That's crazy. I never got there in my career. So congrats on that.
Thank you.
That's huge. So obviously that felt really good.
Oh, yeah.
Pullouts looked great.
It felt amazing. Again, I don't really know how I did that today, if I'm being honest, but it was one of the best one breasts I've felt physically in the water.
Yeah.
And it's just a good race. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, from last year and years past, like your technique and you get your head down and it just looks really good.
Thank you.
You're looking really, really fast. So.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's all I got. But
cool. Awesome. Nice talking to you, Austin.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks, man.